This goofy looking low budget ad that I shot with my iPhone was one of my best performing ads all year. I'm gonna show you how I did it, everything inside. You can completely steal it and implement it yourself and maybe get the $1 leads that I was getting with this thing. All right, let's get into it. This is gonna be a good video, guys. Pay attention. In this video, I'm gonna show you a campaign that I ran that was a little bit different than anything I've ever ran, but it was actually one of my most successful campaigns that I've ran in a while, definitely all year. One of the things that helped me when I first started out online was seeing examples of things that were working for other people. We can talk about concepts and strategies, but when you see it actually happening, it's completely different. I'm sure a lot of you have ran ads, followed instructions from other people, and then it just didn't work out. You maybe became disenchanted and thought, oh, paid ads don't work for my business. They do. It's a matter of finding the things that work for you. And I found something with this ad I'm excited to show you. It's interesting. I didn't reinvent the wheel with this lead magnet. It's actually kind of, it's creative, I guess, but it's also super unoriginal. I'll explain what I mean. But it did convert for me at about $1.20 per email. And that's right where I want it to be. I'm able to pay much more than that for leads because of the value that I get when they go through my email sequence. But that is an amazing number, and I'll spend as much as I can. I'm sharing this one now because today's May 6th and it isn't really relevant anymore. I'm going to have to change the ad set up. So I'm just going to show you everything that I did and how this was able to drive 855 conversions for me, spent about $1,000. It's really cool. I'm going to show you guys everything inside. So let's get into it. As you see here, I've got my smartphone set up. I'm going to show you the actual ad. So first, let me explain what the purpose of the ad was. Russell Brunson was making his new book, Traffic Secrets, which was awesome. I got a review copy, right? So I knew that there was value in that because no one else had it. So I was not no one else. He gave it to a select amount of people. I'm sure I wasn't the only person that got a copy. But I immediately went through it because, first of all, I love his stuff. So I read his book and I'm an avid note taker. So I took really, really detailed notes on everything that he talked about in the book, like really good notes. And I compiled those into a Google Doc, and then I thought, hey, you know what? Like, these notes are really good. People would want these. I was like, I'm not going to sell them. That's tacky. I was like, but I could definitely give these away as a lead magnet. So I created a pop-up on my site. It started to convert pretty well. So I was like, hey, I could run traffic to this. So I threw it all together. I used a tool called Designrr.io, and I made my notes. I turned them into a lead magnet. I'll show you that here later on in the video. That's not the most important part by far. And then I filmed some really low budget videos, and I ran ads to some really basic audiences that weren't custom or anything. They were just targeting a couple of things like Russell Brunson, people that like ClickFunnels and Russell Brunson. So it was a really great ad, and I'm going to let you guys see inside of it. You're welcome to steal it if you want to run similar things to it if that's your audience. I'm not worried about that. So let's get into it. I'm going to show you the first ad. First, let's read the copy. Traffic Secrets by Russell Brunson is an absolute game changer of a book. I got an early review copy. Unfortunately, it doesn't ship until May 5th. So today's May 6th, like I said. So I'm going to take this ad down right after this video because people are going to be like, hey, this is not relevant anymore. So I'm going to do that. But at the time when I made it, it was April 4th. So people were wanting to get the book notes. They wanted to know about the book, but it wasn't shipping until May 5th. So I was like, hey, that's a long lag time. I can kind of fill that need. I knew there was a huge demand for this book, and it was hugely popular because Russell pays huge amounts of commissions for people to promote it. So I was like, hey, I can ride that wave of popularity and kind of slip in there with my notes. All right, so let's keep going. Unfortunately, it doesn't ship until May 5th. Lucky for you, though, I took insanely detailed notes as I read through the book, and I packaged them into a free PDF download. Click the link below to get your copy of my Traffic Secrets notes immediately. So I had to walk the line. I wanted them to know that I wasn't, selling the book. I was selling the notes, not selling the notes, giving the notes. And here's what the video itself looked like. Super low budget, didn't even use a mic, just used my smartphone.
Traffic Secrets. It's awesome. I got an early review copy. It's amazing. You should get it. But you can't get it until May 5th. That's when it ships. However, you can get my 27 pages of Traffic Secrets notes right now. Click the link below, download them, totally free. Enjoy.
Okay, let's talk about some of the things that made this work. And this should be really inspiring to you because I could have made this ad the first day that I was in internet marketing. I didn't know the tech stuff, but as far as the filming goes and as far as the sales copy goes, I didn't need to know very much to do this. I could have made my copy a lot better. I should have done that, but this could have been written by anybody. The only real points that I highlighted was the pain point of the fact that the book doesn't ship until May 5th, and I was playing on the popularity of the book. And I'll show you what I did next to play on that with my targeting. So one big takeaway is that production value is not as important as you might think. And if you're gonna run multiple tests, why not start with something low budget? It might outperform some high budget stuff. I've found that it actually usually does. So that's an awesome thing to keep in mind. Okay, the next thing that you need to know about the landing page. So obviously I'm a fan of Russell Brunson, but I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I still use ClickFunnels for my landing pages. I just don't. That's the truth of the matter. I haven't really promoted ClickFunnels very much lately. I still use it for a few things. I've got a lot of stuff built up with ClickFunnels, but right now I use WordPress and Thrive Architect. I just find it better. I just like to use it better. So that is what I built this with. A couple of basic things. The header footers, I injected those into the post so I could track the conversions. I did that on the thank you page, but this should make you feel good too. This was not at all a very beautiful landing page, very basic. But it got the point across. So let me show you another thing that I really kept in mind as I was building this was that I wanted to make sure that it looked good on mobile. When you're running on Facebook or anywhere, the traffic is going to come a lot from mobile. If you haven't considered that, it's something you need to keep in mind. Make sure that it's mobile optimized, make sure that it's fast, and make sure that it looks decent. So when people come in here, they can scroll down pretty quickly and see the button. Really, I could make this even smaller or hide it. And if I wanted to do that, one of the reasons why I love Thrive Architect is it's extremely easy to do all that stuff. But I'm not going to do that right now. I just wanted to show you the landing page, and it was super, super basic. So that should make you feel good too. And if you want to use ClickFunnels, you can, but I really recommend that most people use WordPress and Thrive Architect. It's just what I prefer right now. Okay, now let's talk about the audience. This is important because I knew that the audience would be very easy to target because Russell Brunson has a huge following. So down here, if you look at my interests, I just did one thing. I did people speak in English, United States, Canada, United Kingdom, and Australia. I could have probably expanded that, but I wanted to keep it a little tight. I only put it on mobile and desktop feeds in right column. And I targeted Russell Brunson. That was the only targeting on this set. I had other sets that I ran tests with, but this is the one that got 1,008 conversions. I spent about $1,159. Conversion rate's 46%, and the cost per conversion was $1.15. Those are good numbers. That is very easy to liquidate the costs. And I didn't do a good job of documenting the liquidation on the other end. But I definitely made more than I paid. Just with a couple of sales, I sell a product called ThriveCart. I made about 4 sales from that, and that alone was able to liquidate the costs of the ads. So it's one of the things. I'm an affiliate marketer. It's a little bit harder to quantify the value, but I am absolutely 1,000% certain that the average value of a customer is much greater than $1.15. So if I can pay $1.15, I pay that until the cows come home, or until May 6th when the ad needs to be changed. So I'm going to keep running this ad, by the way, but I need to change it because if you're paying attention, I said it ships May 5th and it's May 6th. So I have to change the ad up or it's going to look a little silly. It'll still convert. Like today, let me see how it's converting today. 4 conversions. Cost per conversion is actually lower than normal. Conversion rate is even higher than normal. I don't like that click-through rate. That's not as good as I want it to be. I like my click-through rate to be closer to 3%. Everybody's different. The impressions are fine. If we come down here, you can see my reach was 22,000. My frequency was 3.36, which is kind of low. I don't want it to be too high. Frequency is the average number of times that somebody sees the ad. So of all the people that are in there, most of them have seen it about 3.5 times, which is kind of where I want to be. Ad Espresso gives you a bunch of other data. You can see how many people watch the ad, a lot of cool stuff. I did, like I said, make some variations, but this is the one that converted the best for me. So that is really the one that I want to focus on in this video. I don't want to get too bogged down in all the other stuff. Just know that I could have ran just that copy and just that video, and I would have gotten about these conversion rates. Nothing else really greatly outperformed it or underperformed it. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's get into the actual lead magnet itself. So like I said, I took really detailed notes, and I knew that there was value in that. Tools like Blinkist have shown this for years. They make summaries of books and people buy them like crazy. I'm a customer. I've paid them hundreds of dollars to have access to their stuff. So I knew that this was valuable, especially because few people had access to this. So there weren't any notes yet. So I was first to market. Anytime you can be first to market, it's awesome. I made my own blue ocean here. Other people will do this, especially after I launch this video, and that's fine. But that is something that you should always try to do. As far as the tech side of it goes, like how I actually built this, I use a really cool tool called Designrr, 2 R's, Designrr, Designrr.io. I'll put a link to it down below. It lets you take anything like a blog post, a video, a Google Doc, and it lets you convert it into these really cool PDFs. I'm not gonna show you how to do it. It just would take too long, but definitely check it out. They have a bunch of great tutorials. It's a really, really cool and powerful product that I've been using a lot ever since I bought it. It makes really great lead magnets. So my notes were really long. With lead magnets, they don't have to be super long. I'll also put a link down below to a blog post I wrote about lead magnets called The Ultimate Guide to Lead Magnets with 50 different ideas for lead magnets. And you can use that kind of as inspiration for your own. But this didn't need to be 28 pages. It just happened to be. Also, I didn't take part in the launch of the book because it was so much competition, but I did put an affiliate link in there for the book. So if anybody buys it, I get paid. That doesn't convert very well. People that are getting the notes have probably already purchased the book. That was the target I was going for, is people who had already bought it but just wanted it faster. So a lot of them had already bought it, and people were doing crazy bonuses. So I didn't really expect to make very many sales. I made a little bit, a few $100, but that wasn't really necessary. You don't have to have that in yours. Just really basic, no images, just really basic notes. I did proofread the heck out of them, so it is good quality. Super long. Like I said, I take very detailed notes. So people really like this. I've gotten really good feedback. I haven't had anybody say anything negative about the content itself. But yeah, that's how I did it. I did it with Designrr.io. And then I use ConvertKit. So I use ConvertKit for my email marketing management. And what I did was I put them into this form, Traffic Secrets Notes Unlock. That is then connected to a sequence that goes into this default marketing sequence. And then in that sequence, I promote a couple of different tools, and that has really helped me, like I said, liquidate the cost. And the beauty of all of this is that it's not just liquidating the ad cost up front, like making that $1.15 back is great, but I now have them on my email list and I can promote to them going forward. I tell everyone that you should get at least $1 per month per email subscriber if you're emailing your list properly. So by building this list and getting these 1,000 emails, you'll have some decay, of course. People will unsubscribe or provide bad emails or whatever, but I will be able to make money going forward, and I'll continually grow my list. And the bigger your list is, the more earning power you have. You can create what I call like revenue events, where you have a launch and then you have a big audience to promote it to. You can make a lot of money really quickly. So that is one of the huge benefits of running paid traffic to a lead magnet. I always recommend that you run paid traffic to something that you can collect. The email list is what you own, guys. You know that. If you get people on your email list, that ad is worth so much more. I know a lot of people just try to run stuff straight to their products. That has a time and place, but if you can send people to something that gets an email, that's so super important. Okay, let's put a bow on this and just do a wrap up of all the things that I think you should take out of this. Number one, you do not need fancy high budget ads to convert. You really don't even need amazing sales copy. Yeah, you should make it as good as possible, but I think I showed you here that it's more about having a great offer, and the sales copy is great, but it's not the most important thing. So don't be like, oh, I can't run ads because I'm not an amazing sales copy writer yet. It's okay. Just run what you can, test. The only way to really know what works is to test. Like I said, I could have ran just this and it would have converted really well. I did run some tests, but there was really nothing crazy. So I didn't even really mention those in here because I could have been fine with just running this first one. The variations didn't really cause much of a change. Next, you don't need to reinvent the wheel on your lead magnet. I highly recommend that you read that post that I'm linking to down below that goes over the lead magnets. It's a really long post, but it's one of my favorite posts I've ever put together. The key takeaway is to just make it something that people want, make it quick and actionable, and make it full of value. So that's kind of what I did here. Next, don't be afraid to ride the wave of current trending popularity, especially if there's an audience that has already been defined in Facebook. So anything that you could run to Russell Brunson, and yeah, a lot of people are running ads to Russell Brunson in the internet marketing space, but not a lot of them had traffic secrets. So none of them had notes, and I knew that that would do well. And I was able to jump on that, and it did really, really well. So I got lucky in the sense that that opportunity was presented to me, but there's a bunch of those types of opportunities all over the place. Number 4, use Designrr if you can. You don't have to, but it makes really cool lead magnets. Number 5, try to quantify your conversion values, and remember that you should be getting $1 per email per month for everyone that opts in. That varies greatly for a lot of people, but $1 is kind of the bare minimum. So if you get 1,000 people on your list like I just did, I will be able to generate $1,000 per month by emailing them. And you'll have decay and all that, but that's fine. That's just part of doing business. That's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments and I will answer those. But I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you want more videos like this, be sure to subscribe and also hit the bell so you get notifications. All right, guys, thank you so much for your time, for watching. I know this was a longer video, so I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.